All right, now we head into our sports business. This is Sports Business on Smart 24 TV, and I'm Jerome Paul Sonka to bring you up to date with the latest sports business or sports news making headlines in the business sector in that particular perspective. But of course, it's to bring you up to date as well in that particular regard. As of now, we head into our local sports business fast, and here we go. All right, now starting up from the Uganda Premier League, and in terms of the Uganda Premier League transfer market, we head to Vipers and Onduparaka as Mohamed Shaban has completed a return to his childhood club Onduparaka FC, as the former Caterpillars skipper is set to be unveiled soon after completing a move from Vipers Sports Club. All right, there, as you can definitely see, that Shaban, who left the West Nile Giants in September in 2017, and joined KCCA, that is the Kasasiro Boys, and has since played for Raja Casablanca in Morocco. Having played for KCCA FC, he joined Raja Casablanca of Morocco, still moving on to go and play professional on the African continent. And after moving away from KCC to join Raja Casablanca, Mohamed Shaban later on joined the Venoms, that is in Vipers SC, in the Chitende Best side. However, the Caterpillars have now paid over 20 million shillings for the former Uganda under-17 international to Vipers, since he had a running contract. Yes, he still had a running contract with the Chitende Best side. Now, last week, during an Arua 1 FM interview, the PRO Godfrey Drebe, that is Godfrey Drabe, yes, while addressing among key issues affecting Onduparaka and also showing way forward for Onduparaka FC, did outline the fact that they were in talks with Vipers to make sure that they sign the main man over there in Mohamed Shaban to return to Onduparaka FC in Arua. Now, since joining the Venoms 2 seasons ago, Shaban struggled with injuries and failed to make any impact. And as he sat out most of the games midway last season, now he was indefinitely suspended by the club over indiscipline cases. Now his move actually comes at a time when most of the former Onduparaka players with whom he helped the club earn promotion to the top tier in 2014 are back in Arua, but with new league entrants, Arua Hills FC. Now it remains to be seen whether he will also follow suit and join the Congolo, who are believed to have been interested in getting him before he put pen to paper at Onduparaka. So last week, that is the PRO, Mr. Godfrey Adreba, was actually talking through an interview at Arua FM, and in an interview on a sports show where he was actually identifying the ideas that Onduparaka are in talks to actually get themselves Mr. Mohamed Shaban to sign that thing, Mr. Mohamed Shaban. Right, now he was actually a man who is being in the arms of KCC. He was actually from KCC, where he actually performed fairly enough, and later on joined Raja Casablanca in Morocco, where Vipers actually went and got him to actually add to the depth of their squad. Surprisingly, for the 2 seasons he spent at Vipers, he has not had good playing time at Vipers, with the injuries actually getting into his way. Not only the injuries, however, but also the fact that he has actually had cases with indiscipline, and those are some of the reasons as to why he was indefinitely suspended by the club earlier last season. And it's actually these are some of the reasons as to why his move to Onduparaka FC has come to pass, with a 20 million shillings for the former under-17 international, who's now back to the who's actually back now to the Caterpillars. And of course, will he rewrite the same scripts he wrote in his first stint at Onduparaka FC? We wait and see, because we also anticipate for for a very rough that is actually going to be another big derby in there in Arua football, in the Western Nile, that is in the West Nile part region of Uganda, where Arua FC, that is Arua Hills FC, will be entertaining Onduparaka FC. That is another derby that is actually under anticipation ahead of the 2021-2022 Uganda Premier League season. And of course, we'll wait and see how Mohamed Shaban will fare for his new outfit in Onduparaka FC, and clearly follow up on his form or on his recess in that regard. All right, now moving on, still with the Uganda Premier League. However, Uganda Premier League clubs that are actually looking at the way of strengthening their clubs ahead of the Premier League season here in the local league outfit. Now we head to Express FC, the people who were best in Wankulukuku. Now this particular team, who are the defending champions of the Uganda Premier League, have actually confirmed the acquisition of Dewis Bukenya and Nicholas Kasozi ahead of the 2021-2022 season. Now Kasozi, who joins the Red Eagles on season long loan deal from Chetume, while Bukenya signed a one-year contract as a free agent. Now, Bukenya brings versatility to the side with the ability to play in central defense and holding midfield and composure while at it. However, on the other hand, Kasozi is a good distributor of the ball, which completes his ball-winning attribute as a holding midfielder. So you could definitely see what it means for Express FC in a chance to actually see that they defend their crown of the Uganda Premier League in that particular aspect. Now, with Express returning to the continent after 13 years, head coach Waswa Bosa believes the duo should help in not only defending the league, but also make an impact on the continent, which he says is a top key priority. Now, Bukenya, who has played for Vipers SC in the past, understands that it is what is at stake. And Bukenya and Kasozi have all been registered to feature on the continent, and their assignment could be preliminary round tie against Sudanese outfit Al Merrikh. Now, Express host their first leg tie on Friday, that is September 30th, on Friday, September 10th at St. Mary's Stadium, Chitenda, before traveling to the Sudanese capital, Khartoum, for the return leg on September 18th, because they will be entertaining Al Merrikh, that is Al Merrikh, in that particular opening of the preliminary round in the CAF Champions League. Remember, Express FC are the current champions of the Uganda Premier League, which means they will represent the nation when it comes to the continental competitions in the CAF Champions League. But however, as you could definitely see, the Red Eagles have decided to make sure they strengthen their club. They're looking for a club depth by putting in the money where necessary, because they've actually been getting the money. Recently, they got themselves $30,000 after they had traveled to Tanzania in the just concluded Sekafa Kagame Championship, where they actually emerged winners after that 1-0 win over there in the finals. And you could definitely see what it meant to them. That means they added on more to the money they had received initially when they won the Uganda Premier League. So clearly, they're now inputting this money to add more investments, because now where football is actually heading is if you don't have the money or you don't have the funds, you are not winning anything. That is one of the reasons that's why Vipers had to actually acquire another foreign-based coach to come and also add something onto the team to spice up the league and also make sure that Vipers also compete favorably. Now, ahead of the Uganda Premier League, Express FC did confirm two of these particular midfielders in Dewis Bukenya and Nicholas Kasozi. And Kasozi, who actually comes from a season-long loan from Chetume, while Bukenya signed a one-year contract because he was already a free agent in that particular regard. So Express FC looking at that particular way to see that they add depth into their squad and defend favorably ahead of the 2021-2022 Premier League season, because other clubs are also making sure they strengthen each other's sides, and others are also paving way for other players to move out as they add more players to the depth of the squad. Remember, in a season that is actually having more matches, you definitely need to have a very good team that is better off, and if at all you have a first 11, you should definitely be having a competitive second 11 in that particular aspect. Those are some of the reasons as to why these clubs are actually looking into a way of making sure they sign new players in that particular aspect. All right, now that brings us to the end of our local sports business here, and in regards to that, today we're totally doing football as we're totally bringing out football in terms of football business in that particular regard. All right, now we head to the international football scene, as today we only have sports business in regards to football. So should it be football business as of today? Now we head to Europe as Galatasaray have actually inquired about Arsenal's 29-year-old midfielder Mohamed Elneny, with the Turkish transfer window closing on Wednesday. The Egyptian international has just a 1 year remaining on his employment contract at the Emirates Stadium. Will Arsenal add him a contract, or will he be leaving to Galatasaray, or will they wait for him to be a free agent come next year's summer in 2022? That is the biggest question. Now, The Turkish Giants have until the close of their domestic transfer window on Wednesday to conclude a deal for the 29-year-old. Now, Elneny, who joined Arsenal from the Swiss club Basel in 2016, has just a year remaining on his contract in North London. Meanwhile, Arsenal might be tempted by the prospect of trying to recoup a transfer fee rather than seeing him potentially leave for free next summer, as there is no contract extension agreement as of now between the club and the Egyptian midfielder. Now, the Egyptian international has previous experience of playing in Turkey, having spent the 2019-2020 season on loan to Besiktas. Now, after falling out of favor under former Arsenal boss in Unai Emery, he featured 41 times in all competitions last season, and in Mikel Arteta's first full campaign in charge at the Emirates Stadium, has actually been having a few playing time over there. That is Mohamed Elneny. Should he move to Galatasaray, he would join a host of players who have Premier League experience. This include the Galatasaray squad. Actually includes some of Premier League players who have actually featured in the Premier League. Those are some of the players who have actually featured at the Premier League, which include former Newcastle defender DeAndre Yedlin, former Crystal Palace left-back Patrick Van Aanholt, and one-time Liverpool and Fulham forward Ryan Babel, and also the ex-West Brom striker Mbaye Diagne. So clearly, if you could see, there's the Galatasaray is actually also having a number of former Premier League players in that particular team of theirs, in that particular aspect as well. Now, will Arsenal actually leave Mohamed Elneny to join on a free next summer? Those are some of the questions that are being posed ahead of that. Or will they actually get some money out of Mohamed Elneny, who has 1 year on his contract with Arsenal, as the Turkish window, that is the Turkish Premier League window, is set to close on Wednesday. That is on the 9th of September 2021. It will definitely be closing up on Wednesday. That is as of today. It will definitely close up. So should we say that Galatasaray will wait and see, or will they force a bid to get their man in Mohamed Elneny to add into the depth of their squad? We will definitely wait to that, and we'll give you feedback in regards to the transfers in some of the transfer markets that are still open in the footballing world. All right, now moving on, still in the transfers, but this time around in Italy, as Franck Ribéry says he still has a lot of potential and he still has a lot to prove after joining newly promoted Serie A side in Salernitana, and he's aged 38 now. Now, Franck Ribéry, who left Fiorentina at the end of last season as a 38-year-old former France winger, extends stay in Italian football into a third season with Salernitana. Now, newly promoted side have actually lost their opening 2 Serie A matches. That is the Salernitana. Yes, Salernitana. It's a new side in the Italian Serie A, and the former France international has signed a 1-year deal after leaving Fiorentina at the end of his 2-year contract last season. Now, Ribéry won 9 Bundesliga titles and the Champions League during the 12 years with Bayern Munich prior to his move to Italy in 2019. Now, Ribéry, who won 81 caps for France prior to his international retirement, that was in 2014 after the World Cup, and was part of the side that finished runners-up at the 2006 World Cup that was held in Germany. So you do remember he's one of those key players that actually made sure that France make it to the final before losing out to Italy in a penalty shootout. Now, Salernitana have lost their opening 2 games of the Serie A season to Bologna and AS Roma as they travel to face Torino on Sunday. Will he be among the people who would feature for that game? We'll definitely wait and see. And according to the man Franck Ribéry, he actually says, "I still feel very good." And that was during his unveiling at the Stadio Arenche on Monday. And he says he still has a lot to prove. "My passion moves me above all, but my family also played a fundamental role in my choice." And he actually said that, "I know the Serie A is a very difficult championship, and I hope to reach a good physical condition as soon as possible." So clearly, this actually takes us back to the preseason where Franck Ribéry and Jerome Boateng, the former Bayern Munich players, were actually training with the Bayern squad during the preseason before, because they were already free agents. And Jerome Boateng saw his way into French Ligue 1 now, as he will be playing for Olympique Lyonnais, and as Franck Ribéry stays in the Italian Serie A to actually continue his run in Italy for 3 more seasons now. It's actually 3 seasons in a row as he's still there after leaving Bayern Munich. After he left Bayern Munich, actually, he went on to join Fiorentina, spent 2 seasons there. Now he's joining Salernitana at the age of 38, and he's still providing, by the way. He still has the skills, he still has the goals in him. So clearly Salernitana, if they want to at least secure a spot into the season, or actually safeguard their position into the Serie A season, they will definitely have to use the expertise and also the expertise and also the skills and the goals that Franck Ribéry has to offer. Even if he's 38, he can still deliver some of those goals and also lay an impact on a team that has just been promoted to the Italian Serie A, because he has vast experience in different leagues across Europe, and also he has played for the big top names in terms of Bayern Munich over there, winning the UEFA Champions League as well. So clearly it could show you what it means and which experience and what does he bring on board. He's actually bringing experience, leadership with all that of the talent and the varsity in talent that he has. He's very good running down the wings, and he can definitely deliver, setting the crosses and also score the goals, because that is key important. And as of now, as Salernitana have actually lost their opening games of the season, they will look to Torino on Sunday if they will be traveling to Turin to make sure that at least they get a point. If they get a point or 3 points out of it, and will Ribéry be making his debut there, we'll definitely wait and see that particular one. All right, now still into the international scene, we head to England now. In Tottenham, we're to London, where Tottenham's chairman has been named on the European Club Association, that is the ECA board month, after the Super League collapse. Now, Daniel Levy's appointment actually comes after Tottenham were part of the failed European Super League game plans. As PSG president, and the new European Club Association chairman, that is Nasser El-Khelaifi, says Real Madrid, Barcelona and Juventus are wasting energy amid legal disputes with UEFA. Now, Levy will be joined on board by representatives from Inter Milan and Atletico de Madrid, 2 of other clubs who were founder members of the league in April, which quickly collapsed amid fan outrage and opposition from UEFA, national associations and different governments, which also included Prime Minister of Britain engaging into this particular scenario. Now, the Juventus chairman, Andre Agnelli, had been the ECA's chairperson, that is the European Club Association chairperson, and a member of UEFA's ruling executive committee until the attempted breakaway in the spring, as now the news coming in that Levy's election was confirmed on the second day of the European Club Association's General Assembly in Geneva, that's in Switzerland. All right, now on Monday, UEFA President Alexander Seferin and Paris Saint-Germain President Nasser El-Khelaifi, also chairman of the ECA, addressed the Super League scandal from all aspects in their speeches to clearly show you that they were never interested, and it is not a good move for football as in that particular regard. And you can definitely see some of the clubs that were actually benefiting, that had set their foot to actually back the European Super League, which included 6 from from the Premier League: Tottenham, Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool, if you mention Liverpool, Manchester City, Man United, Chelsea, among which have actually also benefited greatly. If you could see in terms of the transfers, one would want to ask if they actually got some money out of it, because the proposed breakaway league was actually to only have 12 teams as at the beginning of the time, where these teams would meet and set up their own league where there was plenty of money to be won. And the reason as to why Juventus, Real Madrid and FC Barcelona are still in this particular one is because they are still in a number of debts, and they saw this as an opportunity to boost their bank accounts in that particular regard, with the time that most of the European clubs are failing out to even sustain their employees. Talk about the employees, talk about the non-football staff, and also talk about some of the football players who have actually faced a very big challenge, and some teams have actually released off their senior players, while other teams have actually cut short of the salary of their particular players just to accommodate the wage bills ahead of the different seasons, and also to make sure that they actually register these players ahead of the seasons. And that is one of the and one of those teams is FC Barcelona, who have actually faced a very huge problem in regards to to signing players and also registering them down because of the debts that they are following. And of course, they saw, even at the end of the transfer window, they saw Antonio Griezmann actually leaving out of the club because he was actually receiving a very huge pay that Barcelona could not accommodate at the moment with the risks that it definitely has in terms of the debt. So clearly, you could definitely see now what does Daniel Levy have to put on board as the new as a new member of the European Club Association, month after part of the Super League collapse. That is the Super League pronunciation that was actually coming up. The Super League that was actually set to take center stage in Europe collapse. Okay, there was an idea that was actually bringing up the bigger teams in Europe to come together and make their own ones at the expense of the smaller teams who actually saw that football was losing its true image and it was just becoming an investment, or it was now becoming more of a business entity than the beauty of football as a game itself. All right, now that brings us to the end of our sports business here on Smart Mains Business, and this has been the latest in regards to the sports business, but mainly in the football business sector, the money that has been splashed in the different teams, both locally and internationally, as we've actually seen, as a number of teams actually rushing into other European markets to make sure that they tap into more players. That is from the Turkish Premier League, since the Turkish window is still open as till Wednesday midnight. That is when the Turkish window will be closed. So the Turkish Premier League outfits are also looking into teams in the Premier League that is in the English Premier League that don't want certain players, and they want to get them and sign them before the Turkish window closes. So clearly we shall definitely give you updates in regards to that and how the teams in Turkey have fared in regards to making sure they sign new players all over there. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at Smart24TV. The website is www.smart24tv.com. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. For now, we'll take a short break. At the top of the hour, we have the news hour. This is SMB.